everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and this is all about my life after gastric bypass surgery. If you are a subscriber, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're not, I would love if you would consider subscribing and following along with the rest of my journey as I just keep on keeping on. This week is a little bit different. It actually might last a little bit more than 1 week, but I have mentioned in the past that I have quite a bit of back pain in the morning specifically, but it does linger along throughout the day a lot of times. That's something that I really honestly expected to get better after losing 135 pounds, but it actually hasn't. In fact, I think it's gotten a little bit worse, especially now. I just can't find like a comfortable position to sleep in, and I wake up every morning with my back really stiff and painful. You know, it's been something I've been considering for a while, but I remember when I was on the pre-op diet, only about a week or so into it, and I started feeling less pain. And so then I had suspicions that it was more of an inflammation problem and less of an issue like with my back. It's actually what I think it is it's a hip problem. It's also what my chiropractor thought. My left hip is a little bit lower, I think, so it kind of cocks my pelvis a little bit because of an injury that I had when I was younger. I have been really wondering if changing my diet was going to actually help with my back pain, especially because most of the pre-op diet I did not experience that kind of pain. Was it a fluke? Was it something else? Or was it diet related? I have no idea. So what I'm doing is I am kind of doing an experiment this week, and I'm going back on the pre-op diet. I am going to modify it just a little bit because there are some things that I just don't think are necessary. For example, pre-op is very stingy on what amount of fruit you can have because they limit your sugar. I am not going to worry quite so much about fruit. I'm not going to like eat handfuls and handfuls of fruit, but I'm not going to worry about sticking to the half a cup that I was allotted before. So if I want a piece of fruit, or if I want a little bit of like raisins in a trail mix or something, I'm not going to beat myself up over that because I don't think that that was the problem or is causing the problem. But I am going to limit how much sugar I have, for sure. But I am going to make sure that I'm cutting out refined carbs. I'm cutting out dairy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on pre-op just to see if I can replicate what I experienced last time, which is being without pain. If that's the case, then it means that it can be controlled by my diet. And at that point, I'm going to figure out what specifically it is. Is it refined carbs? Is it sugar? Is it dairy? You know, what's the issue there? This is kind of an experiment, but what I did is I food prepped and I got all prepared for this week so that I can make it as easy as possible. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be very difficult because I can eat so much less than I could before that it doesn't really matter that I'm cutting a bunch of stuff out. But I will say that I am heavily reliant on dairy. I mean, I eat a lot of cheese and have a lot of dairy products in my day that I rely on for snacks and putting in my tea and, you know, all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be an adjustment there. It's not going to be difficult, but if I have to cut this out long term, I don't know. So let me show you what I've done to prepare for this week, and we'll just really get right into it and see if this does anything, because at this point, with enough pain, I'm kind of willing to do whatever I need to. Oh, hey, look, our plums are getting ready. So here is the food prep that I have done for most of today. I think I worked from about 9:30 in the morning until I think I finally got done around noon or 12:30 latest. So taking through the week, this is so I don't have to think about anything. So we've got some taco mix here for taco salads. I have some trail mix that I'm going with for a little bit of snackies in case I feel like I need it. Coconut chicken one night. It's one of my favorite things that I made over and over on pre-op. Asparagus, broccoli, hard-boiled eggs for snacks. Since I can't rely on cheese, I figured that'd be a really easy grab and go thing. So I have 6 hard-boiled fresh duck eggs in there. 3 different kinds of chicken. This one is really interesting. It's like a charcoal rub. So hopefully that tastes good. fresh green beans I got from my grandma's garden. I went ahead and steamed up. And then one of the things we're going to have is these poke bowls. We found some really great looking ahi tuna at Costco. So I made some cauliflower rice and have all of the fixings to make a poke bowl. I also mixed up some Jello. This is just sugar-free boxed Jello that I put into some molds, and a big pitcher of Crystal Light. That's pretty much everything, I'm pretty sure, that will last the whole week. Means I don't have to think about anything other than, I guess, marinating and searing off the tuna, and that's about it. So we went for a walk this morning, and then I made a smoothie. It's something that I didn't talk about, but it's been the plan with this week. Just like I did on pre-op, I'm doing my own smoothies in my Ninja again. Part of that is because it's just what I did before and was a really good way. Man, it's messy in this kitchen. It's a really good way for me to get kind of a heartier smoothie breakfast. I was just sort of relying on the Premier Proteins every morning, which isn't terrible, but this definitely is, has more nutrients in it and actually better amounts of stuff in it for me. The other reason is that I have all of these ingredients still left over. I have tons of protein powder. I still have chia seeds and hemp hearts and frozen spinach and frozen fruit that I need to slowly start going through. So I did that this morning, and it lasted pretty long. It got until about, I think, 11 or 11:15 until I started getting hungry. So I'm probably going to have to factor in a mid-morning snack just to keep myself going. For today's lunch, I am doing chicken and broccoli. So I just have three pieces of the seasoned chicken that I cooked up yesterday, and I'm doing 4 ounces of chicken and 2 ounces of broccoli, and I put a little bit of ranch seasoning on the broccoli with some of the, I can't believe it's not butter, spray that again I have left over from pre-op. Keeping it simple, but the big thing is that my back hurts so bad this morning, so bad, and it took me probably, I don't know, 10-15 minutes into my walk this morning before I felt like I had loosened up enough that I wasn't just hobbling around. So I don't know if it's just the way I'm sleeping or what's going on, but it was a really good reminder this morning that that's why I am testing this diet, and that's why I'm working to see if there's anything I can do with my diet to relieve that pain, because it was pretty awful this morning. All right, we are heading to the dog park. I'm getting out a little bit later than I wanted. It's about 5:45. So I decided I really needed, since it's been so hot, I really needed to try and see if we could take him to the dog park today when it's not quite so hot. Even though that takes a bunch of time right after work for me, it's really good for him, and he needs a chance to run around. He hasn't done it in like a week or something. So that's where I'm headed now, but I started getting really hungry around 5. So I grabbed a hard-boiled egg, which, oh, I should have recorded it. It peeled beautifully. Like, I never had one of my fresh duck eggs peel that beautifully. And then I grabbed a tiny amount of trail mix. I measured it out to 1/4 cup, which was the serving size. If I limit myself to the serving size, I still think it's a healthy snack, and I don't think the dried fruit in that such small quantity is honestly contributing to my back pain. But I don't know, I could be eating my words, so who knows. But that's where I'm at now, and then in about an hour, probably when we're done, I will come home and heat up what I already prepped. This is one reason why food prep is so nice. Everything's all ready to go. I just have to heat up what I'm eating and have the rest of the night to myself. So here we go. So I'm about to go to bed, and I have been fighting this pretty bad throbbing headache for a couple of hours. And I was just like, maybe I didn't drink enough today, or like, what a weird fluke. And then I realized that it might be related to the pre-op diet, because I remember that not only me, but other people have experienced a headache the first couple of days on this really restrictive diet. And although today was not difficult to follow the restrictions, um, I think a combination of not having my usual coffee every day, which I don't drink a lot of caffeine, but I'm sure it didn't help, and the fact that I've just been like extremely different than what I've been doing, especially lately. I have been, eating a little bit more sugar and a few things that my body is like, oh, we're going off of this again. So I'm hoping that that goes away quickly because it's just like throbbing right behind my eye and I hate it. My back was feeling pretty good towards the end of the day. I don't expect to have results that fast, but I am hopeful that maybe I'll be in less pain tomorrow and I'll just notice a gradual decrease in pain. I don't know, fingers crossed. It would be really nice. Day 2 morning update. Kind of interesting. I woke up this morning and my back hurt a lot, as it always does when I'm laying down. But I noticed that only a few minutes after getting up, I actually had less stiffness in my back than I had the day prior in particular. Oh my gosh. Monday, was it Monday morning? It was awful. But I did notice that my headache was still there. And that I was super grumpy, like super, super grumpy. So I made a tea first thing this morning and just sipped on that just in case it has to do with the caffeine. I don't drink a lot of caffeine, but I do have a coffee a day. So who knows, but I had a tea. It sounded really good. And then I got a late start to the morning with my smoothie, but I just am finishing it now. It's almost, it's like just after 11. I just overall felt like really sluggish this morning. I did not go for my walk. So Parker and I are either going to have to do that at lunch or later tonight. I don't know. I just had a hard time getting going this morning. I'm feeling better. I'm not quite so grumpy anymore. I'm having kind of a motivation issue getting started with stuff this morning, but ultimately just plugging away and feeling like things are going okay. Yesterday's hike kicked my butt. It was so much harder than I was expecting. And I mean, it was amazing that I hiked up a mountain, like just up a straight side of a mountain. But even coming down was like really difficult, and I could feel it in my legs. Like I could feel weakness, just trying to make sure that I was going down the hill without trying to die. So we were very sore. I'm pretty sore still, not as bad as I was expecting, but so when we came home yesterday, I really wanted a hamburger, like really, really bad. So we went ahead and did it. I ordered a lettuce wrapped burger from Red Robin, and I decided that I was going to eat some French fries. And the thought process here is that although pre-op didn't allow for starchy vegetables, the research that I've done in terms of like what kinds of foods can be inflammatory, starchy vegetables are never on the list. And although, I mean, they're fried and they're not like, eating a baked potato, I went ahead and had a few French fries because I don't feel like that's really out of the scope of what I'm trying to do here, because I'm not actually following pre-op as much as I'm trying to do something very similar to what I did last time to see if I can have less pain. I did wake up this morning feeling less pain, but I had my boyfriend try to see if he could massage the area in my back that is most painful. And he actually was able to hit it. So I'm not really sure what the issue is, what's causing it, if it's muscle or what, but he was able to actually like press on it and I could feel it. So after that, I don't know, I feel like I slept better. I don't know if it has to do with him, massaging it, or if it has to do with diet, or I don't know. At this point, I'm grasping for anything. So I'm sitting here doing a little bit of research and kind of looking into what experts and what doctors say in terms of anti-inflammatory diets. I can see that there's similarities between pre-op and like an anti-inflammatory diet. The big thing seems to be making sure to eat whole foods and a lot of vegetables and have a very varied diet, so that you are getting the proper nutrients from an assorted amount of food. Things like eating red meat and oils and refined carbs are all things that can cause inflammation. One thing that I'm seeing is obviously berries are a really great source of anti-inflammatory food, and anything with omega-3s in it. So of course fish, which we all know is, been really pushed as something to eat. But chia seeds, and I've been eating a lot of chia seeds actually. So that's kind of interesting to see. I am seeing some information here that suggests you may be able to eat whole grains, possibly being able to eat whole grain breads, brown rices, things like that. I'm not seeing a lot of things about dairy, which I find interesting because the first time I did research, I remember seeing a lot of links between, chronic pain and fibromyalgia and stuff with dairy. And so I'm still doing a little bit of research on here, but I'm just not sure. So far, I feel like my pain is reduced. I don't know how much of that is due to diet. It's so hard to tell with such a short amount of time. I'm coming up on a week now, so I just don't know. I definitely think it's worth continuing, maybe doing for a couple of weeks, because that would really give me a longer time to determine if diet is affecting this stuff. I've seen a lot of things saying 2 or 3 weeks would be enough time to find out if something is affecting you via your diet. So I'm just playing it by ear at this point, but so far I would say that I am having less pain than I was in the morning, and I'll take it. I just got back from my morning walk, and I am fixing a pumpkin spice coffee. I feel like even though it's the end of August, it's time. I'm ready. So I'm going for a hot coffee this morning. It's very rainy and cold and drizzly outside, so I thought a hot coffee might be nice. So instead of the smoothie I've been having every morning, I'm going to go ahead and do a hot coffee with a Premier Protein. Sounds really yummy. In terms of my back pain, I did wake up a couple of times last night in pain, just flip-flopping around. But ultimately, I am feeling better this morning. I'm feeling quite a bit better. Yeah, I didn't really have the stiffness or the pain or the shooting pain that I've been having. My walk was super easy to do. So yeah, I think there's something to this. I mean, tomorrow is my 1 week. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it for 2 weeks. Kind of want to give it a full chance and a full 2 weeks to really see how I'm feeling and how things are sitting. So that's promising, that it can be controlled with diet. I mean, that would be amazing. I do miss eating, quite a few of those things, but I know. Oh, he's like, you're talking and you're not giving me attention. Do you want to say hello? You've got a line on your nose. Hi, sweetheart. Say hello. But anyway, yeah, if being without pain just means that I don't get to eat some of the things that I would like to eat, if I could figure it out, maybe narrow it down to the things that actually do cause me pain and cause inflammation, then I think I'd be in a pretty good spot. I guess I'm gonna have to go because somebody's impatient. Are you impatient? So as soon as the camera's on you, you're quiet and you're patient. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'll go spend some time with. I'm gonna drink my coffee and go spend some time with my doggy. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up quickly because my dog is pacing and whining. But I did want to give kind of a quick outro and a quick summary of how the week went. Ultimately, I am going to say that I do have less back pain, at least with that really acute, horrible feeling at the beginning of the week. That is gone. I do have still some minor back aches and stiffness in the morning, but ultimately it is way, way, way less and way, way, way more manageable. I know. Goodness. The other, what are you doing? Get out loud up there. Get down. You just, oh my gosh. That is not what I said. I know. You want to go somewhere. No. Can we chill? No. That is just not the right behavior. So much for a really quick outro. My goodness. Okay. The results, though, aside from that, is the fact that going on pre-op, because it's so restrictive, and it has not been easy. I have been very frustrated and I've been very irritable sometimes when you are limited and you're not allowed to eat what you want to eat. I mean, we all know that feeling and it sucks. And this is why this kind of thing is not sustainable. So I need to fine tune it because it's so frustrating sometimes. But because this diet is the way that it is and it is so restrictive, I lost 5.8 pounds this week. And technically my weigh-in day is tomorrow. So I was at 237.6 last Tuesday. And today I weighed in at 231.8. So that's a significant result. Something to keep in mind if I ever kind of need a reset and feel like I'm just not handling things. But I will say a full week of that is not easy to do. It's very mental. I mean, I never felt like unsatisfied with my food, but it's very mentally taxing. So I will continue this for another week. I will update things later. I'll go ahead and do an update in a couple of weeks or so with kind of what I've found and if this is something that I can manage by diet, because after 2 weeks of this, I'm going to start slowly incorporating things and weeding out what the problem foods are. So I'll come back with an update on that later. But ultimately, so far, things are very promising, and I'm very excited for that because back pain, not really my thing, not my jam, not enjoying it on a daily, near constant basis. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I hope you guys have a really great week. Bye.